Chairman, thank you very much for your time tonight. It is good to see you.
Liz, always good to be with you.
So congratulations are in order. You had a very big win yesterday, and also you were the guy who basically came to the Queens and Brooklyn Republicans after it was clear there was going to be a special election and had them pick Bob Turner. And so pretty much you started it all.
Well, it was a wonderful team effort. I have to say, going right from Reince Priebus, the chairman of the RNC, and Pete Sessions, the chairman of the NRCC, and their staff, John Rogers, who was terrific. We all worked together right from the start. Wonderful teamwork, and everyone was involved in making it go right from the start.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a departure from what we've seen in New York between the state and the national GOP. Is it like this dawn of a new era where everybody is going to be working together, pushing forward?
Oh, absolutely. And we've been working together from the moment Reince was elected. I was down there helping him. He has been here helping me. Same with Pete Sessions. He and I were there right at the table at the start, talking to Bob Turner and other potential candidates. Bob was terrific. He said, look, if there's another guy who's better carrying this message, let them do it. And, he ended up being the right person to do it, and the message was a great message. It was a message that was very timely with Barack Obama delivering last Thursday his big job speech,
right,
which is really one half of a stimulus bill, and it just didn't go over. He's not trusted by middle America and the working men and women of Brooklyn and Queens. It's really middle America. They delivered a message saying, Mr. President, where are those jobs you promised us with your full stimulus bill last year? We don't trust you.
Chairman.
And that's the message that came across.
Okay, so the Democratic National Committee Chairwoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz and Senator Chuck Schumer, who actually used to represent this district, slightly changed before some redistricting tinkering, but about the same district.
Well, this wasn't just Chuck Schumer, it was Geraldine Ferraro's,
right, I know, and Anthony
Democratic
Weiner.
hands.
Yep, some serious
since 1923.
liberals. Yep, I know. Serious liberals. But they basically are rejecting the theory that you just floated, which is, of course, what all the Republicans are saying, that this was a referendum in some way on the president and it does not bode well going forward. They said New York 9 is unique and it really doesn't mean anything. Can you rebut that?
No, look, this Brooklyn and Queens is even broader. These are the working men and women of New York City who keep this city running. And it is middle America in many ways. It is that seriously Democratic, but these Democrats and independents, along with Republicans, voted for Bob Turner because of his message about Barack Obama. There's no question about that. Now, there's a question whether they are more disturbed by his foreign policy, where he is wishy-washy with respect to our friends like Israel, and he apologizes for America, which they just don't like, or whether it was about his promising jobs and not delivering them with his last stimulus bill and then coming up with a half stimulus bill this time. Those were the issues that they voted on. There's no question about that. It's just a question of whether it's foreign policy or domestic policy that they're more upset about.
Well, speaking of domestic policy, what about David Weprin's gay marriage vote? That was actually Bob Turner's own spokesman, Bill O'Reilly, said that wasn't part of his strategy, and yet you saw Orthodox Jews quite upset with an observant Jew, David Weprin, voting yes on that. To what degree do you believe we should be reading into this going forward?
Well, look, I think with respect, that was more a foreign policy with respect to the Jewish vote in that area. But there's a very large Italian and Irish vote also, and that may have played a part in it. But the real issues, the issues that Bob Turner talked about and emphasized were the foreign policy, the failure of Barack Obama's foreign policy, and the failure of his domestic policy with respect to the economy and jobs.
You know, Bob Turner, what's interesting is also, and I don't think a lot of people are talking about it, is that the campaigns were just, in the case of the Republicans, much better run. I mean, it was not gaffe-free on the part of Bob Turner. I mean, he made some comments about the Zadroga bill, for example. Do you feel like maybe the Democrats could have been stronger if they had capitalized on those errors?
Well, you know, he started his campaign he went out looking, I was so upset about Barack Obama and his policies. I want to contribute, and he was told there's no candidate to contribute to. He goes back to his wife, Peggy, and says, Peggy, you wanted me to do something, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to run for Congress. She said, Bob, I want you to do something, but not that.
That was 2010 you're talking about, right? That was when he first ran against
Well, that's what got him into
Weiner.
it. And in many ways, this was about a year ago, and this is a continuation of that. He just had a wonderful volunteer campaign, but lacked a certain elements of professionalism. And here, the party from the top down added that professionalism to his campaign that made it so effective this time. And of course, Anthony Weiner, there was not a sitting congressman in the district at the time, and that left it open to be a real referendum on Barack Obama and his failure of his jobs program.
The National Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee put in at least $600,000 in that final week for TV ads. I know that you're speaking a lot about the National Republican effort and the support that you received from them organizationally speaking. How much money was it in the end that they helped you with?
We were outspent 3-1 in the end, but you know, when you have the right issues, you have the right message, and you have the right messenger, you can overcome that kind of money. And this kind of a win, which I think is going to be about 55-45, it really has to go to the message that we had that was well delivered in this district. It really represents even more than just Brooklyn and Queens in New York City. This represents the working men and women of Middle America.
So, but you know, why is this seat actually worth fighting for, given the speculation that it might go away? I mean, it's possible that Bob Turner could be in office less than 2 years, if that.
You never know. Redistricting is how that's going to work out. The important thing is the message that was delivered now, just as Barack Obama is trying to deliver another faux, really one-half stimulus plan when the other failed. That's the important message here. Mr. President, where are the jobs you promised us last time? They're just not there. And getting that message across, and the message with respect to the failure of Barack Obama's foreign policy, that was really what this election was about.
Right.
And Bob Turner, he believes in this district. He raised his children in this district.
Right.
Many of his grandchildren still live in it. He's going to represent it well, and you never know what may happen with redistricting.
Do you intend, though, to fight on his behalf to keep him there? Because the reality is that the way that the numbers come down, New York has to lose 2 seats. It's got to come from somewhere. So if it doesn't come from downstate and New York 9, which I think a lot of Democrats were hoping, then maybe it will come from somewhere. Don't you worry that you've only got 6 Republicans in the delegation? Don't you worry that somebody here is in danger?
You mentioned our 6, where we won 6 seats from the Democrats, more than any other state. And our candidates were, like Bob Turner, they were all citizen candidates, not really professional politicians. And we're gonna fight for Bob Turner, and we're gonna fight for all of them, because they are giving their districts the kind of representation that they deserve, not by professional politicians, but by people who really care about their districts and care about America. So,
Chairman, when you say that you're going to fight for all of them, and now I should say 7, right, because you've got Bob Turner, does that mean that you are going to try to get the Democrats to actually axe 2 of their own districts? Because I find that very difficult to believe that they'll agree to that.
Well, we'll have to see how that works out, because they have two districts, every one of ours. They should give up more than we give up, and we'll see how it ends up.
Do you believe that because of Bob Turner's win, the majority leader's hand was strengthened in Albany when it comes to redistricting?
I'm not sure that redistricting, you're going to talk about obviously assembly redistricting,
right.
Senate, state Senate, and congressional, and that is a mixture of politics that is going to work out in Albany in the coming months, and how that comes out, you just don't know.
Okay, so you'll be celebrating this evening, I understand, with the RNC chairman, with Bob Turner, of course, and with some other folks. Haley Barbour is also going to be with you, and congratulations.
It's a wonderful parallel. Haley Barbour, and we're going to announce that Bill Powers is going to be chairman of a chairman's advisory council of really heavyweight political folks here who are dedicated to building the party. He's very eager to help rebuild the party in this state. So you got Haley Barbour and Bill Powers, who built the party in the early 90s that led to our national and state victories then, and Reince and I are trying to fill their shoes. That's the parallelism that we're projecting at our annual dinner.
The return of former state GOP chairman Bill Powers, fascinating. Well, we will have to try and get him on the show. In the meantime, I want to thank you very much for joining us, Chairman Cox. It's great to see you.
Liz, good to be with you.
Thanks very much, Ed. I appreciate it.